Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. Got a lot of questions about installing a PWM inside of an ammo can. We're going to try and take a few minutes today and show you exactly how we did that. Come take a look with us. Alright, young man came to us and brought us some brand new Minn Kota 30-pound thrust, 30-inch shaft trolling motor. He picked him up a PWM. Asked us if we'd put it inside an ammo can for him. He wants to put it on his kayak. Seems like he's got most everything we need, so let's get started. First things first, figure out which end you want to put your power coming into in your motor leads. On the previous one we did it on the hinge side. So measure out, find your center, and mark it. Go ahead and get your diameter. This has got a little recess in it. Get your diameter of that, find the appropriate drill bit. What I found was my step-up bit, the largest piece of it, perfect. So we'll go ahead and drill a hole in there. Don't check yourself. Box is cheap. Box $4.99 at the Wally World. Oh yeah, I like that one. Let's see what the other one looks like. I noticed he had opened up his package and lost the screws to mount one of them. We'll have to come up with a different way to mount for him. Come up with some hardware. Oh yeah, nice and snug. That's what we like. Feed it on the PWM. You can see this. You got a power negative, power positive, and motor. I found on the last one the motor didn't matter, but I kept it in series as if this is negative, I want my negative motor here also. And that seemed to work out good for me on my forward and reverse on my switch. The way I anticipated it was going to work, it ended up working that way. We're going to try it with this one too and see if it does the same. Let's take a moment to prepare this PWM be installed into the box. What I have found is I'm not real happy with the way these wires rub against the case. It's also got some plastic on it. Let's get that removed so that we can get it to adhere to the inside of the box. It's got two screws in it, one here on the back and one right here. Slide it back a hair and pick up. And be careful, this whole circuit board just slides in and out and locks in on two tabs. Remove that plastic. This I'm not happy with. I'm going to put just a small bit of electrical tape on it to protect it from rubbing. You don't want it to wear through and short out. this switch needs to be installed this direction, but that's going to be impossible with it connected. So let's work on removing it from the board. It's got two little clips here. Try and just use a little pick. Work them up gently. There we go. Now that's removed. Now we can work on getting the switch actually installed into the box. Let's get that cut out. I believe the single dash is going to be our forward and our double is our reverse. I like it installed with the forward on the upside. Let's give that a try. I've measured the switch, and our mounting hole needs to be 3/4 by 1/2. Marked it on here. We're going to put us a tiny hole. Drill us a tiny hole at each corner. That'll mark it. Better for it to be just a hair tight than too big. We can always trim it up just a little bit. I'm just going to take a razor knife. Straight edge. And get it going. Now that we're happy with that, let's get our screws back in. They're tiny, so be careful not to drop them. This shop floor eats screws. If you drop it on the floor, it's gone. This is a pretty simple project. Just basically take your time. Some of these electronics are a little fickle and fragile, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Not to mention, I'm not real sure as of yet, this is only the second one, of the quality of these components. But we tried the other one out and it worked wonderfully. As far as the longevity of it, who knows? And boy, that does not like lining back up. Come on, fumble fingers. Little screws, don't over tighten them. You ain't got to send it home. Just snug it. That's all we're looking for. Let's see how that sits down in the box now. Oh yeah, we're liking it. We're liking it. We're going to position it something like this. I'm going to attach Velcro to the back and the bottom just to hold it and stabilize it. But for right now, I'm going to leave it loose so that I can make my connections here. Let's go and do that. We like these connectors. I believe these are called SAE connectors. They come made as one solid piece, but you cut it in half and that gives you a male and a female receptor. It plugs together like so. I hope you can see that. And last time I determined if I measured it out and cut it in half, that gave me the perfect amount to be able to work within the box. So let me do that. Let's wire it up. Go ahead and get both of them cut. Ready to work with. Save that for later. Save that for later. We'll get to those. Separate these ends. Try not to trim those back too far. I was really impressed with these SAE quick couplers. I used them on a couple of projects. I even hooked them up on my battery charger so that I don't have to undo my battery. I just plug right into it. It gives me a good connection for charging. I even leave the battery cover on it. So there's a lot of applications for it. And you'll find that if you keep them all the same type connector, man, you'll find all kind of uses for it. All right. Let's get you some of this at the auto parts store. I wish I'd got a size larger. It's quite snug on these wires. Go ahead and get you a little cut piece down on there. And I wish I'd gotten red and black, but they didn't have any black, so we had to go with red and white. Oh yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. I like that. Connector to pull, man. We don't want that thing loosey-goosey, coming undone. One down, one to go. All right, Daddy Rabbit, that's what we like. Just like that. Now you're fixing to see what I'm talking about these being too small. They are a bit of a pain to work over the end. I would like to have it worked all the way up here, but it ain't gonna happen. We are simply gonna have to work it over the connector as best as we can. I know a lot of y'all are saying that's not right, you got the wrong size. Well, I got news for y'all. This is the size we got, and this is the size we're gonna use. Happy. Let's get some heat on those. Shrink them down. Just kind of give it a little love, keep it moving. I'm happy. Stop. Do the other one. Keep that flame off of it. Let's give it the heat. I'm happy. Stop. Move on. Before I even start, I'm gonna take my handy dandy Sharpie. I'm gonna put me a small B here, and I'm gonna put me an M here. You don't want to get those crossed up. You don't want to get them confused, because that PWM is not gonna take it that way. You'll be ruined it and be buying another one. And I got just enough room here to work. It's a tight, confined space, so be careful. Don't pull your wires loose on your switches. Double check yourself a couple of times. Make sure you've got that power negative hooked up to your black wire. Make sure you've got your power positive hooked up to your red wire. I can't stress that enough. It's simple. Just double check yourself. Always make sure those threads feel like they go in nice and smooth. I'm not going to tighten any of these down. I want them to be able to swing and move until I get all of them in here. All right, now let's go to our motor side. Motor in that top hole. And like I explained earlier, because on that last one I found that when I wired in the same direction, in other words, make it, this is my negative, then positive, then I want to put my negative motor and then my positive motor lead here. It worked out last time. I'm thinking it's going to work out the same this time. If not, we'll just take that switch out and flip it over. I hope y'all build one of these. I think you'll be glad you did. It really made a difference on the battery life on my trolling motor. We started our last fishing episode with a battery that measured 12.7 volts. We ran approximately 5 hours, and a lot of that time we were running on a low speed, but found at the end of the day, loaded up on the boat ramp, we checked a voltmeter, we were sitting at 12.5. That is very low battery consumption for as much time as we spent on the water. And this young man's going to be setting his up for kayak. I really think he's going to enjoy that long run time. Because who wants to paddle when you got a motor? Double check yourself. We got our positive lead here. With negative lead here. Mirror it with these connections. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and tighten them up. Don't overdo it. Snug is good. Sure, I don't want to be stripping that lug out and explaining to that young man how come it's messed up for him. Golly, I want to come back and put just a little love on him. I don't want him having a loose connection either. Beautiful. All right, we got these wires in here. I really want to save y'all the agony of watching me twist and bend on those wires to get them to lay in there without a lot of stress on the connectors. Next thing we really need to do is get our potentiometer switch mounted in that hole. I don't like these bare naked pieces on the back. I'm just going to put a small little piece of electrical tape on it, just because I want to. And we're just going to stick it through that hole we drilled. I like that, nice and snug. Put our washer on. Our nut. Hold that switch, don't let it sit there and twist on you. Snug is good, don't overdo it. Let's get our knob back on. And I kind of like to position it pointing that way. On. And there's this variable speed. I'll back off again. Sweet. All right. We're almost done. Plastic now. You don't want but a little bit. Sweet. We like that. Now, let's get that board secured inside that box. And we'll be almost done with this portion of it. Got some Velcro. And we're going to gently work us a piece under the bottom and on the side. Sticky. Sweet. Now, get that baby right down. That'll keep that from moving around. Got no wires crimped up. No stress on these connectors here. Folks, that's a completed box. Let's wire up his trolling motor so we can try it out. Alright, we got our trolling motor mounted up here on the workbench, and because he's going to use this as a kayak trolling motor, we went ahead and removed the head. When you remove the head, you're going to find 4 wires in there. These 2 go to the controls that were removed from the head. So we're just going to isolate them and tuck them away right here for now. He's going to make something to steer it with and encapsulate this. We've run our black wire and our red wire, they run directly down to the motor. So we've taken it and hooked him up with those ASE quick couplers here. That will plug directly into his box. We like it. So motor. Make sure you double check that. Don't cross those up. So we got our motor plugged in. The next thing we want is our battery. Simply plug it into that. Let's give it a try. Go forward and on. Speed that baby up. Wide open. Yep, that's the right direction. Try reverse. And we're going backwards. Folks, it's that simple. I'll throw a couple pictures in here of how this is set up on the bench. But you can do this, and it'll actually extend that battery life. A lot of applications for a PWM. Check out my other video and it'll explain some of them. If you like this, how about one of them thumbs up? And subscribe ain't gonna hurt. I gotta go. Willie's running across the road.